Today, I am going to be showing you guys this 6'8" Luka Doncic build that is a unstoppable offensive threat on NBA 2K24. With the NBA regular season finally starting, I thought there would be no better build to make than a Luka Doncic build, which is my personal pick to win the MVP this year. But with all of that out of the way, man, let's get started with this video. Let's go. All right, so let's start things off with the body settings. You're going to go with the point guard position, height 6'8", weight 226 pounds with a 6'10" wingspan. And starting things off in the finishing, we're going to get an 83 close shot, which is going to be enough to get hook specialist on gold. We're also going to get an 88 driving layup, which is going to be enough for float game on Hall of Fame, as well as Luka Doncic layup animation. We're also going to go with a 75 driving dunk, which is going to be enough to get some really great dunk packages, which include Luka Doncic's dunk animations. And then lastly, we're going to have an 85 post control, which is going to get you post fade phenom on Hall of Fame, as well as some other badges like post spin technician and drop stepper on gold. All right, so now let's take a look at some of these finishing highlights. We're going to be in the rec center today, out on the fast break, hit him with the floater. The closeout is just not there, and we get the easy layup. Now take a look at this right here. Off the missed shot, we're going to go for the putback layup, and it's going to go in. And that reminded me a lot of a really big play that happened last year when the Mavericks were playing the Knicks, and Luka had one of his best games ever. He had 60 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists. Now, obviously, the putback was off of an intentional missed free throw, but the play just looked really similar to it once I got the putback, and it just reminded me of that game. All right, but now let's actually talk about the finishing on this build, man. Listen, you're going to be like Luka. You can score out of the post just like Luka does. Luka is actually one of the most efficient people out of the post, and he's definitely the most efficient for guards for sure. You know, overall, this build is just going to be really good when it comes to finishing. All right, so now moving on to the shooting, you're going to get a 93 mid-range shot, which is going to get you catch and shoot on Hall of Fame, midi magician Hall of Fame, blinders and deadeye on gold, guard up Hall of Fame, open looks Hall of Fame. We've gone over this before, right? That 93 mid-range shot is going to get you a ridiculous amount of badges that is going to help you be a shooter on all levels of the court. And then speaking of the other levels, you have an 86 three-point shot, which is going to get you limitless range on bronze, as well as agent threes on silver, so you can hit some shots off the dribble out at the three-point line. But now let's take a look at some of these shooting highlights. And while we're taking a look at this, I would like to point out that I was using pretty much every single Luka Doncic animation that was available in the game. And you see the spin jumper right there off the sharp take, and we broke his angles, bro. That was an insane clip. And overall, when it comes to shooting on this build, it's going to be pretty freaking solid, especially when you pop sharp take. You're going to be pretty much open no matter where you shoot it from. But then look at this right here. We're using Luka's aggressive breakdown combo right here. Actually, it might have been his regular breakdown combo. Just kind of sizing him up real quick and then hit him with the spin jumper in the mid-range area for an easy bucket. And that's one of the big things that I do like with Luka's animations, is that since some of them are pretty slow, it's going to be really good to use against over aggressive defenders. But look at this right here. Buzzer beater off the hop jumper fake, and it was an and one as well, and we made that. But yeah, back to what I was saying with the dribble animations. The thing that I like with Luka's dribble animations is that they're slow. Now, that may seem counterproductive because usually you want to have fast and explosive dribble animations, but in this instance, it's kind of nice, especially when you're playing against defenders that are a little bit too aggressive. They want to cut you off from one side. Sometimes they're going to overplay their hand sometimes and giving you wide open drives, and it's just going to be really easy to score when you're playing like this. These are also most definitely my favorite type of guards to play on. The big guards that can shoot well in the mid-range area, still have a post game, can dribble and play reasonable defense. Luka Doncic pretty much fits all of those things, and yeah, I really just enjoyed playing on this build. I like the 6'8s. I like my tall players, but now let's move on to the playmaking. All right, so now moving on with the playmaking, we're going to get a 91 pass accuracy, which is going to be enough for needle threader on gold, which is a super important passing badge to have in this game. And with having your pass accuracy this high, you're also going to get the Tyrese Halliburton pass style, which is one of the best passing styles in the game. And moving on to the ball handle, you're going to get an 85, which is where it maxes out at, which is going to get you ankle breaker on gold and a bunch of other really great badges. We do get silver speed booster on this build as well, since we upgraded our speed with ball to a 75. And with that 75 speed with ball, you're also going to get a bunch of really great dribble animations, which can include your pro dribble style, Magic Johnson dribble style, Zach LaVine. You're just gonna have a bunch of really great options to use. All right, so now let's move on to some of these playmaking and passing highlights. Off the screen right here by Laker fan is just an easy wide open dump down for 2 points. And that's one big thing about Luka that is overlooked. He is an elite playmaker. He makes some absolutely insane passes. So not only is this the type of guy that can score 30 a game at will, but he's also going to get a lot of assists. He can probably get 10 assists a game as well, and you combine that with also getting about 10 rebounds a game. I might be gassing his stats up just a little bit. You guys kind of understand what I'm talking about. Now let's talk about the pass accuracy again on this build. That 91 pass accuracy is going to be really nice to have. Now listen, you can't get rebounds on this build, so maybe it doesn't hurt to get the 92 pass accuracy so you can get break starter on Hall of Fame. Me personally, with how I made the build, I just couldn't really finesse the 92 pass accuracy and still get everything else that I wanted. But if you do want to make some modifications to this build and throw the 92 pass accuracy on it, you absolutely can. But, you know, overall, this build is just going to be really good when it comes to scoring. It's going to be really good to play make on as well. And as you're going to see in just a little bit, it also has some value in the defensive department as well. Look at this, off the wrap cut, dotting the hash as we're going down. You're just a playmaker, man. Now, when it comes to the defense and rebounding, you're going to be serviceable on the defensive end, okay? You can play corner defense, maybe a little bit of hash defense, and you could probably guard your own man in most situations. You're going to have a 58 interior defense, which is going to be just enough to get some stops in the paint. You're also going to get a 75 perimeter defense, which will get you clamps on bronze, so you can get stops out on the perimeter. And then we're going to have some rebounding on this build because Luka can get rebounds, and he's a pretty good rebounder, especially for guard. He's going to have an 83 defensive rebound on this build, which will get you rebound chaser on silver. And we ended up upgrading the offensive rebound to a 65 so we can get some O boards as well. All right, so now let's take a look at the defensive highlights. And listen, we got a couple, and although you only have a 25 steal, if you put your body in the right position, you could probably get a couple passing lane steals here and there. And again, look at the defense. We're in the paint, we're jumping, we're actually getting a block on that one. It was probably a bad take, but we ended up still getting the stop. And look at this right here, playing high, getting bumpy with him. He's passing it away, he can't score. So now here is the build fully maxed out, and let's talk about the physicals really quickly. 81 speed to get the silver speed boosters, 71 acceleration, 74 strength so you can get physical handles on gold, and bronze bully, which is a very bronze bully. What is this? 2K23? You're gonna get bronze bulldozer on this build, which is gonna help you drive through contact and kind of just get past weaker defenders. And speaking of getting past weaker defenders, you can also use physical handles to do the exact same thing. Then moving on to the vertical, we're gonna have a 60, have a 95 stamina, and as you can see, we also get handles for days on silver with this build, which is really nice. And now, since you can pretty much see the entire build, we could talk about a couple of modifications or changes that I might have done to make this build a little bit better. And one of those is definitely probably going for a 92 pass accuracy so I can get break starter on Hall of Fame. Maybe if you drop the offensive rebound down a couple notches and maybe lower the interior defense a little bit more, you could have gotten that 92 pass accuracy. And I'm going to be honest with you, that was just not something I was thinking about getting while I was making this build. I really wanted to get just the 91. I didn't even think about getting 92. So that's kind of my mistake on my end, but I highly recommend you try and get that 92 if you can. Yeah, no, I think this is a really overall well-balanced Luka Doncic build, and me personally, I don't really think there was any better way to make a Luka build. You have the scoring, the post-up game, the rebounding, the playmaking. I genuinely do not think you could make this build better. Now, don't get me wrong, there will definitely be somebody in the comments saying that they made it better, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. All right, so now when we come out of the Meyer player builder, we're going to get the player comparisons of Oscar Robertson, James Harden, and Luka Doncic. You actually do get the Luka Doncic comparison, and you're going to get the build name Diming 3-level threat. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. This was a very, very fun build to play on, and Luka's one of my favorite players in the league to play as. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'm out. Peace.